Finding the right therapist is hard, and if you're struggling in your marriage, you just want help, fast. But there's so much to figure out before you get started, including what type of therapy is right for you. In this video series, I want to help you find the right type of therapy and the right therapist for your marriage. In today's video, I'm going to discuss emotionally focused couples therapy. I'm going to explain what it is, how it works, and what to expect when you get started. Hi, I'm Valerie, and welcome to my channel. As a licensed therapist and relationship expert, I've been helping couples restore, repair, and reconnect for over 10 years. If you're struggling in your relationship, you're in the right place. I help couples stop fighting and start communicating. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, hit that subscribe button right now. I want to share my best tips for building a better relationship with you. But first, a quick disclaimer. While I'm a licensed therapist, I'm not your therapist, and this video is intended for educational purposes only. All relationships are unique. If you're struggling in your relationship, please reach out to a highly qualified, licensed therapist in your community. If you're watching this video, you're probably weighing the pros and cons of couples therapy. And if you've started to research your options, you might have noticed that there are dozens, if not hundreds, of couples counselors in your community. How are you supposed to know which therapist is right for you? And how are you supposed to know what type of therapy actually works? Well, here's the problem. Every therapist is different, and every therapist has a different approach to working with couples. You won't really know whether your therapist is a good fit until you get started. But therapy, especially couples therapy, is a huge commitment. And if you're like most of the couples I know, you want to feel confident that you're taking the right steps in couples therapy to heal your marriage. One way to increase the likelihood that the therapist you choose will be a good fit is to make sure that you understand their method and their approach to couples therapy before you go to your first appointment. Regardless of what type of therapist or what type of therapy you decide is right for your marriage, I want you to feel more confident in that choice. And that's why I want to talk to you about emotionally focused couples therapy, or EFT for couples. If you've started researching couples therapy, or better yet, interviewing couples therapists, you might have already heard about EFT. So what is EFT, or emotionally focused therapy? Emotionally focused therapy is a short-term, structured approach to couples therapy that helps couples just like you develop deeper emotional bonds. Designed to help couples identify, understand, and transform their interactional patterns, or their patterns of communication and connection, EFT helps couples build stronger relationships and improve their communication. Developed in the 1980s, EFT is based on the science of love and attachment. Maybe you've heard the term attachment before. Attachment is just a fancy way to describe the bond you have with your partner. Your attachment style, or how you behave and interact in your relationships, is shaped by your early experiences with love and connection. So think about your early experiences with your parents. That's what shapes your attachment. According to attachment theory, the relationship you had with your parent or your primary caregiver as a young child will create and shape your expectations about what love should look like as an adult. Unfortunately, not all interactional patterns are helpful, and these unhelpful patterns can create conflict, avoidance, and distress in your adult relationships. EFT is designed to help you shift those patterns and teach you how to form stronger bonds and build better relationships, not only with your spouse, but with your friends and your family. Research has found that EFT can improve interactions between partners and reduce the amount of stress that people experience in their relationships. The primary goals of EFT are: 1, to nurture a more helpful emotional response; 2, to create a positive shift in your interactional patterns; and 3, to foster and create a secure bond between yourself and your spouse. So, full disclosure, I use emotionally focused approaches in my work, and I found that EFT-based approaches can be tremendously helpful for couples who want to develop a deeper understanding of themselves and their partners. So so I'm a huge fan of EFT. I've also found that EFT is really helpful for couples who want to reconnect and reclaim their emotional intimacy. So, how does emotionally focused therapy work? In general, EFT works in 3 stages: de-escalation, restructuring, and consolidation. So let's talk about stage 1, de-escalation. The first step in EFT is to identify the negative patterns that contribute to conflict in your relationship. This first step is focused on identifying those interaction patterns that create conflict, to identify negative emotions related to attachment issues that you might have, and to reframe these issues. This process helps couples better see how their own insecurities and fears might be hurting their relationship. In this step, partners begin to view their unhelpful behaviors, like shutting down or getting angry and escalating, as protests of disconnection. Right? Couples learn to be more emotionally available, empathic, and engaged with each other, strengthening their attachment bond and creating this safe haven between them. Once couples have completed that first step, we move on to step 2, restructuring. The second step in EFT is designed to help couples learn how to share their emotions and express more compassion and understanding for each other. This step helps partners become more responsive to their other partner's needs. And finally, step 3, consolidation. The final step in EFT is designed to help couples develop new communication strategies and skills, and to create a more positive interactional pattern between the 2 partners. This new, more positive cycle creates connection and healing in a relationship. So, what should I expect when I choose to work with a therapist who uses EFT? To me, a typical EFT session looks a lot like traditional therapy. And if you've ever watched couples therapy on TV, it probably looks a lot like EFT. During an EFT session, a therapist observes the interactions between you and your partner, and they'll help you practice new and more helpful ways of connecting and communicating your emotions. Unlike other forms of therapy, your therapist is going to take an active role in guiding your conversation during any EFT session. And your EFT therapist will help you recognize the behaviors and patterns that contribute to conflict in your relationship. As you recognize those patterns, they'll help guide you and coach you into new ways of approaching, communicating, and connecting with your spouse. But please remember, while directories like Psychology Today and Therapy Den are free for you, they do charge your therapist a fee for their listing. So that means that your therapist may not be listed in these directories, and these directories might not be updated. It's always best to ask your therapist directly about their training and their approach, and to check out their website before booking an appointment. So here's my top tip: ask questions. Finding the right therapist and the right type of therapy is hard, but don't get discouraged. If you're not confident that your future therapist or their approach is the right fit for you, ask for a free consultation. This is a great opportunity to introduce yourself to your therapist and see if they might be a good fit. And don't be afraid to talk to a few therapists before settling on the right one for you. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're considering couples counseling, especially emotionally focused couples therapy, share this video with your partner, and stay tuned. This video is part of a series exploring different types of couples counseling. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos discussing the different types of counseling and how to find the right type of counseling for you.